I'm excited about this video because I finally, and I mean finally, use this baffle plate right here, this tuning plate from Lava Lock. I don't know if you believe me, but I've had this for 2 years. It's just been in the garage until now. I'm finally going to use it. So it's been in the garage for 2 years. But I'm going to use it in my Oklahoma Joe's Highland. This is what it's made for. Now, if you have this Highland, then you know that you're going to get temps that are going to be high, obviously because it's close to the firebox, and then lower temps away from the firebox, right? But if you want that even cooking, you're not going to get that. So 2 years ago, I was like, you know what? I want to try this out. It gets great reviews on the Lava Lock's website. I've seen them on YouTube, not many, but I've seen them, and videos that I've seen, they did like them. So I was like, you know what? I am going to buy it and then try it out. So here we are, 2 years from now. So that's what we're going to do first. I'm going to light it up. We're going to test it. We're going to go from each cooking grate. There's 3 cooking grates. We're going to see what each temperature is on that cooking grate before we put the baffle on. Record those temperatures. And then once we put this baffle plate on, then we're going to do the exact same thing. Record each temperature to see how close they are together. I don't know if they're going to be 5 degrees off, 10 degrees off, 20, 25 degrees off. We'll see, but this is the whole point of this whole experiment right here with this baffle plate. So let's get to it. All right, wood's burning pretty good. So close it up. I'm going to leave my side of the, you can see it right here, door wide open. Let me show you how I rigged it up inside. So that's what I got going right there. It's all connected. So I don't know if you'll be able to see, but probe 1 right now is reading 81, probe 2 is 95, 96, probe 3 is 230. Probe 3 is, so it's getting up there. Obviously it's going to be hotter on this side. So I'm going to do it, I'm going to close it up and then we'll see. All right, here's a little update. So you see what I was looking at the temps. Probe 1, 213. Probe 2, 210. Probe 3, 453. So yeah, giving you a difference already right there, right? And then let's just take a peek so you can see what it looks like, right? And have this here to get hot. But yeah, so that's what we got going right now on the temps. All right, so probe 1, 259, probe 2, 255, 256, probe 3, 507. All right, so we get the point, right? So we know hottest on this side obviously is close to the firebox. The middle to the end, they're close in range, maybe 3 degrees, 2 degrees off from each other, but they're closest to each other. Obviously this side's gonna be the hottest, close to the firebox. So what I'm gonna do now, let it cool down for a bit, drop down, and then I'm gonna add the baffle plate, and then we're gonna go from there and see if it evens it out completely, or if they're, you know, minus plus from each other, not too far. So we'll see, but we'll see if it has numbers like these, right? But let me do that and I'll bring you back. All right, so take a look at it before we put it in. See this triangle piece right here, they bolt on with the nut and a bolt, and that's to keep it when it goes on the sides. So let's see how easy this is going to be, if it's going to be hard. All right. All right, see, just like that. Let's get the last piece. All right, well here, I don't know if you can tell. All right, you see you got one hole here and then in the bottom hole. So you would put a nut and a bolt through both two holes right there to keep it in place. On the website, it recommends not to do that, so make it easier to remove the plates if you want to clean them. But it also, let me bring you see it leaves a gap opening on each side, so I'm not sure if that's gonna have any effect or if I should just bring them together like that. I think that's what I'm gonna do, just keep it together like that. But that's what it looks like. And you see there, you see it got one, where is it at? One hole right there, another hole right there. So what do? You will drill into your smoker and put bolts and a nut through that, but I'm not going to do that. Another thing too is that your side firebox here, it bolts on to your cooking chamber, right? Well, some people have come across an issue to where this doesn't sit flush with the smoke chamber here. So if you can tell, there's a gap here. So I don't know if there's going to be some heat rising through there. What people have done in the past is they've actually drilled holes to where the holes are at for the firebox and cooking chamber. They connect and they just bolted it together. But I don't think I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna rock with it like that, and then we'll see and go from there and see if there's an improvement. But let me put everything back together and then we'll continue on. All right, it's all connected. So there's the baffle plate / sheet diffuser. I'm trying to look. I can already see some, looks like some smoke maybe. I don't know if my eyes are deceiving me. Maybe some smoke coming out through there. Or maybe it's coming up through little holes. I don't know. Kind of looks like from there. But we'll see. So let me close this down. Let's add this split, because I know it's dying down already. You can see. So let's get it on. Love the way it just catches. Man, just tip it down like that. Yeah, beautiful. So I'm gonna let this catch and then I'll bring you back. Here's an update. So you get to see. So probe 1's at 231, probe 2 244, probe 3 257. So hey, it's not bad, right? It's not bad. You barely see any smoke coming out right here. This is where I'm barely over 200. All right, this is where we're at. Probe 1 268, 267, probe 2 282, 281, probe 3 300, 299. So that means that it's starting to drop down on the wood. So let's check it. Yeah, it's burning down. Yep, it's burning down. Yeah, so let's take a peek. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah. Well, all right. So I think for right now, I'm gonna close this right here. I'm gonna add this one a little bit, and then let's talk about it. So, what do you think? Did it do what it's supposed to do? Do you think? So let's do a little recap, and then, you know, in the comments below, discuss. Let me know what you think. If you have this baffle plate, let me know about it more, because it's obviously my first time using it. So just you know, yeah, comment down in the comments. So all right, so without the baffle plate, I have my notes here. Furthest away from the firebox, probe 1 259, the middle probe 2 256, probe 3 507, so the closest to the firebox. So hot, right? So difference between 1 and 2 is 3 degrees, so that's good, right? Difference between probe 2 and 3 is 251 degrees. Yeah. So difference between probe 1 and probe 3 is 248 degrees. So that lets you know, without anything there, heat is gonna be hot right here. All right, so now with the baffle plate, probe 1 highest got was 267, probe 2 highest was 281 in the middle, probe 3 was 299. So probe 1 and 2 difference was 14 degrees, so that's pretty good, you know. Probe 2 and 3 difference was 18 degrees. So the difference between probe 1 and probe 3 was 32 degrees. So a little so hotter there, you know, on this side than on that side. So yeah, obviously a big improvement on this side, because this got well over 500 and this guy, the highest, was got to 299. But it also depends on type of size of your wood. The wood that I put in there for the baffle plate was bigger than this, so the temp was going to be higher. If I were to put one of these in here, which are smaller, you wouldn't get so much of a high temp. So that's something to think about whenever you are smoking. You know, if you want low and slow, obviously you're, especially in these smokers, you're not going to put a big log, big split in there. So that's why we got a higher temp. But that's not to mean that if this is going to be 225, this may be 275, you know. And like I did mention, there was that opening right here up against the cooking chamber right here. It was exposed, so I did see, to me, like smoke coming through there. But like I said, you're supposed to drill into it. But like I said before, I did my research. People came across the issue because the firebox bolts into the cooking chamber. So what they did then was, because those bolts on the cooking chamber that go to connect the firebox, that's what hits the heat baffle plate. So that's why you get the way it is right now. So what they did, they just end up drilling the holes into the baffle plate to where the two holes that are for the firebox and chamber, so they connect all three together, and that improved everything. So will I do that? Probably not. You know, I'm gonna keep fooling with it. Obviously, the more you use it, the more you get to know it. So maybe I'll see what I can do, and if you know anything about it, let me know what I can do. You know, I'm first time using it, I'm figuring it out. But so far, I mean, I'm gonna keep using it. Obviously, I think it did a pretty good job, improvements on heat. So we'll see. Like I said, wood size matters too. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know down below what you think. Do I think it's worth purchasing? I think so, with some adjustments, you know, if you want to make them and improves it, but that's your choice. Or if you think that out of the box it should already come ready to use without having to do improvements. I don't know, that's, you know, your thinking, you know, which it probably should be that way, right? But it is what it is, right? They still got great reviews on it on lavalock.com. So yeah, but yeah, that's what my experiment on it. So hopefully it helped you out if you're considering this baffle plate from Lavalock. They don't, they didn't, like I said, I bought it, so they didn't send it to me. I'm not doing this for them, I'm doing it for me. So yeah, but as always, thank you for coming by, thank you for watching. Smoke on, everyone.